Okay, so my name, again, is Judy. I'm with the FBI. I'm an intelligence analyst, and I'm talking to you this week. Normally my classes are spaced out, but this time it's back-to-back because I was sick the one week. So today we're going to talk about advanced online safety. Why do you think we're going to talk about online safety?
Because most of us have social media.
Okay, what else? Go ahead. Yep. There's lots of things that can happen, and most of you guys live your lives online. When I was in school, we didn't have all this. Heck, our phones were connected to the wall. So no social media, no taking pictures of everything, no posting things online because it didn't exist. In fact, I remember when I got my first computer at work, I'm like, oh, these things will never catch on. Okay, so another internet safety presentation. And just so you know, this presentation came from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, because they are the people that help protect you if you are exploited online, just like the FBI does. Where are you going? Oh, okay. All right. So, do you guys see this kind of stuff online? Do you see inappropriate content? People making gestures, people making threats, drinking, drug use, profanity, suggestive images. How often do you guys see this on social media? Stop talking.
Like every day.
Every day. Do you see it on all the platforms?
Yeah.
Yep, pretty much everything. What about, do people contact you online that you don't know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have followers on like Instagram and whatever they call them now that you don't know? Okay. It's not always safe. So when you are the one that's posting stuff that's inappropriate, it can get back to you. So it can ruin your reputation. So if you're posting like sexy underwear pictures or naked pictures or whatever, if you are posting threats, if you are posting yourself with guns and drugs and stuff like that, you guys know that cops troll the internet, right? Do I need to separate you two up there? Okay. So everything you do online is what they call discoverable. It's something that can be used against you if it needs to be. So you have to think about the things that go on with what you do. So not only, it's before you post, you should ask, is this what I want to be portrayed like in 10 years, 20 years? Could it get me into trouble? What would my mom or my grandma think if they saw this? How could it impact my future? Remember last week we talked about the fact that most employers will check your online presence. And if you think they can't go back pretty far, they can. Who could it hurt? And what does it say to other people about me? So what is TMI? Too much information. Why is it bad to post too much information about yourself? That too. And one of the things that I work is crimes against children. If you're posting too much information online, it makes the bad guys, the people who take advantage of kids, it makes them able to find you. How many of you guys have seen when you're driving down the road with whoever you're in the car with, those little stick figure families on the back of somebody's vehicle that shows mom and dad and the cat and the dog and the kids, and sometimes we even have the names. We actually tell people that is the worst thing you could have on your vehicle, because that lets a child predator know if they see a kid near in that van or whatever by themselves, they can say, oh, you must be Macy, and I see your dog so-and-so. It makes the kid think that this person already knows them. So just like there's too much information in real life, there's too much information online. So what about personal information? How many of you guys remember during COVID, everybody was posting pictures of themselves with their COVID vaccine card? Maybe you remember that, maybe you don't. The thing is, certain things that you post have your personal information on it. Your COVID vaccine card has your full name and your date of birth. What could I do with your full name and date of birth? Steal your identity. So you have to be careful what you post. Just a little tip, if I'm ever going to be out of town for work, I never post anything either about my trip, about being out of town, until after I'm back. Why would I do that? Somebody could break into my house, especially if they know. We were talking at work the other day about the fact, you know, like all those pictures that you post and everything like that? Do you guys have the location services turned on your phone? Did you know that that geocodes every photo you take as to where you've taken it? It does. It's embedded in there, and the bad guys know how to strip that data. They know how to use it, because if they know you're going to be at this place, or you've been at that place, or it's a coffee shop you go to, or whatever, all of this stuff is information that people can use against you. So, talking about how to keep your private stuff private. That first one is the geolocation setting. Turn it off. Unless you're tagging yourself in at some airport or something on your way back saying, hey, coming back from Cancun, whatever it is. You know, you really don't want people to always know where you're at, especially if you're a kid, because it's real easy to snatch kids. Family information. My mom works at such and such. My dad works at such and such. Well, say your dad is the CEO of Chevron. What's that going to tell everybody about you? Your family has money, right? And then if they can find out where you take your pictures, then they know where your house is. And there are groups that actually target houses of people who have money. You've seen on the news lately probably about the fact that some of the big sports stars are getting all their bling stolen. Yeah, people target them. And they actually call them a bling ring. Telling people your passwords. Do you guys share your passwords with anybody? Okay. Who would it be safe to share a password with? Who would it be safe to share with? Your family, like your mom or dad. Why? Okay? Say something did happen to you. Say you got snatched up. Say you were in an accident and nobody knew where to find you. If they can get into your social media account, they can go and give that to the police to help look for you, to figure out where you are. You get kids that run away from home all the time. They think they're running to something better. What they usually run to is trouble. So disclosing details about your personal life. I can almost bet that one of you in here has a password that contains the name of your pet. I can almost bet. Because people do it all the time. So think about it. You post a picture of your cat Fluffy or your dog Toto, whatever it is. Guess what? People use those in their passwords all the time. They want to use something that they'll remember. But the more information you share online, that makes it easier for hackers to steal your identity. Okay, what's wrong with moving conversations to a private platform? Go ahead. Say again. They can. Okay, give you a true life example. Have you guys ever heard of a game known as Player Unknown's Battleground? It's kind of like a Fortnite type game. So you have an avatar on there, and you can do this on Fortnite too. But basically, somebody who doesn't know you friends you in the game because they probably know more about you than you know about them, but they befriend you, and then they try to get you to move to another platform. So we had this happen that this girl who was 9 years old was on Player Unknown's Battleground, and a guy talked her into moving to an app called Zepeto. Well, Zepeto is a Korean app that lets you create an avatar, and you build a little world for your avatar and stuff like that. Well, the other thing that Zepeto does is it allows you to share videos and chats and pictures and stuff like that. So this girl thought she was talking to another kid about her age. And this girl was here in Midland, right? Turns out she was talking to a 43-year-old father of 3 in Michigan who totally intended to come to Midland to have sex with that 9-year-old girl. So should she have moved off of PlayerUnknown's Battleground over to Zepeto and then to the Google Hangouts or whatever? No. If people want you off of the game that you're on, they want you off for a very specific purpose. And it's usually not something that's going to be good for you, especially at your age. Okay, sharing or forwarding explicit content. So say somebody sends you a video of somebody you know in a compromising situation like having sex. What's wrong with you sharing that with somebody else? You have just shared child pornography. Guess what? It's child sex abuse material is what they call it. If you share, redistribute, sell any of that, you are also guilty. You can be arrested for this. You think I'm kidding? We see it all the time. People don't know. As long as the person in the video is under the age of 18, they are a victim. Okay, so how can you protect yourself? How many of you use the same password for multiple accounts or some version of the same password? Makes it easy to remember, right? But guess what? If somebody gets hold of that password, they can get into all of your accounts that have that same password. Make them different. Even if you only make them different by a little bit, make them different. Okay, privacy settings. How many of you guys have privacy settings how many of you have Facebook? Okay, Facebook has the controls that allows you to, who can see your postings? Is it only friends? Is it only friends of family? Is it everybody? Use your privacy settings. Why? Yep. And they can take your pictures, and like we were talking about earlier, they can use AI or they can use Photoshop and take what might be a seemingly innocent photo and make it something that's not, and then share it too. And it looks like it's you. Okay, choose who you friend. So again, don't friend people you don't know. Friends are different from followers. What's the difference?
Friends are people you follow back and that you know.
Okay.
Followers are people that you don't know they just follow you.
Okay, so why would you want people to follow you unless they're giving you money? Why would you want people to follow you that you don't know? Yeah, but how many people actually make a living off of being an influencer? Not many. Okay, limit your access to your location. Remember, every photo, every video that you take with your phone, your tablet, whatever, has the ability to have that geolocation in it, which people can use to track you. Look for the lock symbol or the HTTPS. What does that mean? Okay, when you're on a computer and you're typing in the web address, if it starts with either an HTTPS, like say you're shopping on Amazon, right? You go to put in a credit card or your Venmo account or whatever you're going to use. If it does not have that lock symbol or HTTPS, and that S means secure, then that's not a secure site, and that means that you, especially if you're buying it on somebody's open Wi-Fi instead of on your personal Wi-Fi, that means they can strip your stuff and get your account numbers. Don't share anyone else's personal information. True story. When people go after kids, say you have a 12-year-old that's being exploited by somebody. They sent nudes, they shared nudes back and forth. Now the kid wants to stop. The person already knows, hey, they have a little brother, a little sister. Go take a naked picture of your little brother or little sister and send it to me. You think that doesn't happen? It does. You don't want to share your own stuff, let alone somebody else's, because these people are bad people. So don't share passwords. Verify offline before helping friends and family. What does that mean? If somebody is messaging you online, whether it's an instant messenger, Facebook Messenger, whatever, and they say they need help with something, are you automatically going to help them just because they have the username of somebody that you know? It can be spoofed as well. Just like they can spoof phone numbers, they can spoof accounts. Another true story. One of our child predator cases, I saw you roll your eyes. Sorry about that, but it's true. Not you, him. Okay, so we have a case where some kids were sextorted, which we'll get into in a little bit. When we started working with Facebook and Instagram to get the accounts, all of the people doing this were over in Ivory Coast, which is in Africa, and they had created over 40,000 fake accounts. 40,000. Spoof means pretending to be somebody. So say you get a phone call and it looks like it's from your mom or dad's number. It could be somebody just using software to make it up like that look like their number. One of the ways you can sometimes tell is if you have it saved in your phone as mom and it comes up as the number without saying mom, that sometimes lets you know that it's a spoofed one.
Or like an unknown caller.
Unknown caller is your phone telling you that it's not somebody you've talked to before. So there are ways, but you just have to be careful who you're sharing information with. Because like I said, if somebody says, okay, this is your cousin so-and-so, I need you to Venmo me $50 because I need help with this. Verify with the person by a phone call or talking to them in person that it's actually them before you send them $50. Why? Otherwise, you're out $50, right? Okay. Online enticement. This is what I'm talking about when I say I work crimes against children. Remember, we talked last week, anybody who's under the age of 18 is considered a child. You may not want to think that you're a child, but a lot of stuff happens to kids that we don't want to happen to children. So typically, online enticement is where somebody is communicating with you as a person under the age of 18, and they may or may not pretend to be somebody else already under the age of 18, but they're trying to get you involved in something that you shouldn't be doing. Sometimes it's sharing images, sometimes it's sharing conversations, sometimes it's sharing other stuff. But that's called online enticement.
How do you determine whether or not someone is sus when you first start talking to them online?
I don't know, maybe the questions they ask?
Can you give us an example?
Like the city I live in?
Yeah, that's true.
I get a lot of those questions.
Really?
Yeah. No. I either leave them on delivered or block them or just leave them on open.
He's smart. Sometimes they'll make something so enticing that you want to open that just to see what it is. Okay, another one.
If it's a girlfriend, green flag, but if it's a scenario where we pick, where it's like you're interested, I say that's a little bit of a red flag, you know?
Yeah, but the thing is like Snapchat. You know what it's all used for, you know what I'm saying?
You
You
get
want
like
the angle, you want to look pretty, you want to,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll put
a
both
bunch of
up.
filters. I'm going red flag.
So what was the question on that one? Somebody wants you to move off that platform. Okay, grooming. Do you guys know what the word grooming is, like for yourself? Doing your hair, doing your makeup, looking dressed up, everything like that. But there's another meaning to grooming, which is where somebody tries to cultivate you or get you involved with them. Grooming is typically an adult trying to get a child, again, under 18, to do what they want. So I'm going to get you a phone. Let's keep it between us. You look so hot. So they're going to flatter you. They're going to talk to you about adult things. They're going to send you gifts. The big trigger is asking you to keep a secret from your parents, your siblings, your teachers, your coach, especially if it is somebody who's like a teacher, a coach, a family member. Turn you against your family. Why would they want to turn you against your family?
So you don't get close with your family. You tell them, oh,
So you don't have somebody to go to ask for help.
yeah.
Good. Okay. They might share or ask for revealing images. What would you guys consider, how far would you go on taking a picture to send to somebody? Okay. Would you send them a shirtless picture? Guys, it's not as bad, but girls, when they're asking for it, it's a little different. I will tell you that one of the, for some reason, guys between the ages of 12 and 16 are more willing to send a nude with their face in the picture than anybody else. Why is this bad? Because they have a nude of you with your face in the picture, so they don't even have to Photoshop it. They know it's you. Okay, and blackmail you. That's where we get into what they call sextortion. But when inappropriate requests go too far, just remember, you're a kid. You're the victim. It's not your fault. What do you do if something like this happens? Who do you tell? A trusted adult. Good call. You can tell the cops. You could tell the FBI. Okay, so start with if you get one of these requests to get you off the platform, to get you something else, to offer you gifts, to get you to trade photos, things like that, what do? You reject them. Do you block them? Yep. You can. Do you delete them? No. Very good. We can use that because we have very good tools that can trace information back. So especially if they have got you to do certain things, definitely don't delete it. Stop sending them things and don't do anything else, but definitely report it to law enforcement.
It kind of sucks, you know, because, like, I don't know, I have a problem saying no to people, so, like, but, you know, some bad things.
Say no.
Yeah, no, I'd say no. But no, I'd say no, but, like, I think it can be, like, really pressuring sometimes. It can be. That's some pressure, man.
So the question was, how do you say no to someone asking you for nudes? What if it's somebody that you're boyfriend, girlfriend with?
Say you don't feel comfortable. We ain't there yet.
We ain't there yet. Or we're never going to get there because it's online, right? Do not send them. Back in the old days, it was an actual picture, but nowadays, everything's online. Okay, so NCMEC, that is the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. They have a cyber tip line, just like the FBI has a cyber tip line. If your photo is shared or something like that, you can report that. If somebody sends you a photo of somebody that you don't know that looks to be a child, you can report that. Why would you report it if somebody sends a photo to you of, say, another teenage girl or boy?
Because they could be getting raped.
They could be being exploited. Very good. Okay, so somebody wants you to do this. Don't engage, block them. Don't meet them in person, please. Remember I said, 43-year-old man trying to have sex with a 9-year-old girl. He knew she was 9. So tell an adult you trust. Who do you trust?
Your parents.
Your parents. Who else?
Or like your family members. But I should trust.
Do you have a church leader? Do you have a coach? Do you have a friend that's an adult that could help you? Do you have a teacher? There are people in your life that you trust, right? That's an adult. What if they don't know what to do? They can probably find somebody for you. And again, don't delete the information. So report anybody who sends you images like that, who wants you to send images of yourself. What do they mean when they say talks to you about adult subjects? Yep. Talking to you about sex, talking to you about drugs, talking to you about suicide, kidnapping, different things. Okay, is blackmailing you into sending money or more content. What does that mean? Okay, that's where we get into something called sextortion. Do you guys know what blackmail is? What?
It's like, oh, like you were saying earlier, if somebody sends a news again with their faces, they could be like, oh, if you don't do this, then I'll show this.
Yep. Sometimes they will ask you for more pictures or more videos, or like I said, pictures of a brother or sister. Sometimes they'll ask you for money. We had an investigation here where it came to us because the kid was told if he did not send more videos of himself masturbating, that the person would release everything. And when the kid said he wouldn't do it, then they talked him into $1,000. Well, where's a kid going to get $1,000? He stole his dad's credit card. The guy literally told him how to take the credit card and send a Western Union wire. So he sent one of 250. That went through. The second one of 250, Western Union blocked it and called his dad as the credit card holder. That's when it all came out that the kid had been sextorted. It means extortion for sex, whether it's pictures, videos, money, but it has to do with those graphic images. What about reshares your images? Say you are in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship or whatever, and you have shared a photo and you break up with that person and they send it on. What do? You can, especially if they're also underage. But if they're even older, if they're over 18, that makes it worse because then they are, it's the same thing, production or distribution of child porn. Okay, another video.
Who do I think is more to blame when nudes are leaked? The person that is in the photo or the person that leaked them? Ayo. Three, two.
Person that leaked them.
Yeah. You're a garbage human
Yeah.
if you leak someone else's nude.
Who are you? Who are you to be messing around with someone else's photo?
You lucky you got them in the first place.
If you don't want them leaked, don't send them. Okay, so sexting, we talked about sextortion, but sexting can be nudes, partial nudes videos, can be having that conversation online. Again, that 43-year-old man in Michigan was having these conversations with a 9-year-old. You would not think that a 9-year-old would know all of this stuff, but kids these days are smart. They're ahead of where I was. 9 years old, I'm playing t-ball. Okay, so you think it's not as common, but look at the percentages. So people, minors who say they've sent or shared a nude photo or video of themselves online, 9 to 10 years old, 15% of them had sent it. And it goes up from there. So mostly it's 5 to 17 years old. And see the boys versus girls? For some reason, guys are more willing to share them. But I'm saying, don't do it. It never is good. So how many teens are sexting online? So these, 19% have sent them, 14 have forwarded them, and 34 have received. Well, that doesn't make sense because if 14 or 15% have forwarded them and 34% have received, that means a lot more people are forwarding them. Or they're forwarding to multiple people. Okay.
You probably get lots of messages every day, but what if you got one like this? What would you do? Would you send a picture? No? Cool. That's an easy way to protect yourself. But what if you chosen differently? What if you send the picture? They'd never share it with anyone else, right? Do you want the picture shared with others? Sorry, you no longer have a choice. It's out of your hands now. Because sometimes people we trust break that trust. Maybe the person you sent the picture to shows it to some friends. Maybe they send it to a couple friends, who send it to a couple more friends, who, you get the idea. It spreads. And you never know who might see it. Your little brother? Your mom? Other people at school?
I would never.
Even strangers could get a hold of your picture. You never really know where that picture will end up. How long it will be out there? Or what the consequences will be. Don't let others decide what happens to your image. Think before you share. Learn more at netsmarts.org. And hey, if your image is already out there, know that it's not your fault. For information about removing sexual pictures and videos from the internet, visit missingkids.org/gethelpnow.
You don't have control once you hit send. So why would you send it?
Can't you just delete it?
Delete it when?
But sometimes if they have like an iPad or something, it won't unsend on the iPad, but it'll unsend.
You guys know that when you delete images even off of your own phone, it doesn't completely go away. All it does is change the ones and zeros to zeros and ones, and it changes the number, but it's still there. It's recoverable not only off your phone. We work crimes against children. You would not believe how many times people try to get somebody else, like say we've already arrested somebody, they try to get somebody at their house to start deleting stuff off their computers or their phones or their tablets. We have ways to recover that. It's not gone. The only way to get rid of it is to rewrite your whole software system. Okay, so revealing images go places where you don't want them to go and you no longer have control. So, biggest thing, don't take a picture of yourself you wouldn't want everybody to see. Think about these kids that get sextorted and they say, I'm going to send it to everybody in your contact list. Who's on your contact list? Your family, your friends.
Your work coworkers.
Yep. Think about if that image goes to everybody in your contact list. Think about it, because you probably even have an email on your phone, right? Think about it going to everybody that you've ever emailed with. That's a lot, right? Is that kind of scary? I think it would be. So talk to an adult and do not comply. Okay, so these are the ways that you can take it down. I can talk to you afterwards if you need more information on this, or you can talk to me. So before you reshare, so somebody has sent you something, think about it if it were your friend or your brother or sister whose photo that you got and you reshare it. Or have you guys ever known anybody who like quit school or did something drastic because something got out about them that they were embarrassed about? That case I was telling you about with 40,000 fake accounts. That case has gone to 6 different divisions or field offices of the FBI, and there was a 16-year-old boy in San Jose, California that couldn't stand the thought that people from his church were going to have his video. He committed suicide. These people don't care. For most of them, it's a profit. So sextortion is what we were talking about. It's blackmail for sex, whether it's images, videos, money. It's a form of child sexual exploitation. Remember, a child is anybody under the age of 18. So they're threatening you to reshare your images, to sell them, to do whatever, send them to everybody in your contact list. And a lot of times they'll say, well, if you send me something, I'll send you something back, or I'll send you this. Here's a little indicator. If they're willing to send it first, it's probably not even them. How easy is it to get a photo of a stranger online? Pretty easy. And I can tell you that 9 times out of 10, or probably 99 times out of 100, the person whose picture is on that profile picture, that ain't the person. I mean, you guys are a bunch of good-looking kids, but are you hot enough to get a 20-year-old girl or boy? Maybe. Okay. So what about if they pretend, oh, send me some more photos. I work for a modeling agency. I can get you a contract. Or we can be boyfriend, girlfriend. Or, again, 40,000 fake accounts. What about the people you're online with playing games? Do you know if they're your age? No. Not a clue. Because people fake their accounts all the time. I have a friend that works in crimes against children at FBI in Washington, D.C., and she's very good at portraying a 14-year-old girl into superheroes because that's what, for some reason, that's what certain boys are in, well, men, they try to get her to meet up with them and stuff. Have you guys ever seen that show, To Catch a Predator? You can see that online. It's true stuff. I have friends that do that for a living. So they can access your account. Think about this one. How many of you guys have a laptop at home? Okay. How many of you have a tablet? Does it have a camera on it? What do you do at the end of the day? Do you close your laptop or turn your tablet upside down? Did you know that they can access your camera remotely? So say you leave your laptop open and you go to get ready for bed at night. You're undressing in your room thinking your laptop's off. They can activate the camera. Think about if you share a room with a little brother or sister. They can see them too. You got to be secure on all of your digital stuff. This one's kind of weird. Okay. So don't comply with the demands. What about if they contact you through Snapchat, Instagram, one of the applications? You can also report the account to the company. You can report it to the cyber tips to take it down. There's actually even one called, that the FBI has, it's called the Internet Crime Complaint Center. Remember this, I, the little letter I, letter C, the number 3.gov, ic3.gov. You can report it to the FBI that way. Pretty simple. But we don't want any more of this out there. There's already too much. Now we're going to get into cyberbullying, and I'm going to cover this kind of quickly. How many of you know what David's Law is? Okay. In the state of Texas, there is a law called David's Law that is specifically against cyberbullying. How many of you been cyberbullied? Somebody's threatening you online, somebody's harassing you, doing all kinds of stuff, telling you you're fat, you're ugly, you're gross, you'll never be anybody. All of that is cyberbullying. How many have you been the one that did that? Okay, so David's Law says that in the state of Texas, even if the cyberbullying did not occur on school property, the school has to get involved. So think about you're doing this from home, you're bullying some kid or some kid's bullying you, you report it, say it's reported to the police. It also gets reported to your school. So you're not only going to get trouble at home, or somebody's going to get in trouble at home, they're going to get in trouble with the police, and they're going to get in trouble with school. That's like a triple whammy. Why would that be bad? Yep, you end up over at MAP. Do you like it over at MAP? Okay, so bullying can include stealing someone's identity to create a fake profile, resharing information. Okay, this is a weird one. Recording and posting fight videos. Why would that be a form of bullying?
Because somebody's hurting somebody else, and you putting it on the internet.
What if it's the person who's getting their butt kicked in the video? Yeah, they'll never live it down, and you have just reshared it. So it's not even just, like it is recording it, but if you repost it, that is also a form of cyberbullying. So basically you're using technology, or somebody's using technology to share information that they shouldn't share. Rumors, gossip. How many of you guys in school have had something said about you that was completely untrue, that just embarrassed you? How many of you have been in fights at school with people, not like physical fights, but even just arguments with people? Yeah. Imagine all of this being known by everybody because it's online now. What about a hate group? Did you know that people create hate pages just to hate one person? That's sad, isn't it? What can you do about it? You can. Okay, posting mean comments, photoshopping. Photoshopping now with AI is even more amazing because you can't always tell the fake from the real. Yep. Yep. So kids who are cyberbullied may have low self-esteem. What do kids with low self-esteem tend to do? They might commit suicide, they might cut themselves, they might hurt themselves, they might bring a gun to school. You don't know. They feel lonely or isolated, nervous about going online or going to school, feeling harassed. So if someone says something really, really ugly about you, do you just want to crawl in a hole? What do? You talk back? Okay. What'd you say? You, front row, what'd you say?
I said contact my parents.
Okay. Yeah, and that's the thing. With David's Law, say you're the cyber bully. Your parents can be sued because of what you've done. I've had kids before at MAP that told me, that's okay, my parents don't have anything to take. Well, first off, that's usually wrong. But second, they can attach your parents' wages. They can take the house, they can take the car, they can do all kinds of things to make the restitution, especially if the kid that's bullied does something like commit suicide. Okay, so if you're being bullied, don't respond, block them. Why would you set up a new account?
Because they can take your name and they can like add you and be like, oh, this person, this. It's not
Okay.
and everybody's gonna add that account and they can add other people too.
Okay, and then report it. So who do you report it to? Can be your parents, can be the school, can be the police, can be the FBI. Okay? So what do you do if somebody you know is being cyberbullied? The answers are up here, right? Don't participate. Don't hate with them. Stand up for the victim. Can you report somebody else being cyberbullied? Absolutely. Okay, don't feed them and don't become one. I do this. I like to create a positive online environment. Right now, everything online is about politics that is my age group. I don't engage. I don't like them. I don't follow them. I try to post positive, uplifting stuff. I like posting pictures of my dog Tucker because he's really cute. That makes everybody happy because my dog will actually smile on command. So don't reshare the stuff. Don't contribute to the hate. Okay. If you guys have your phones, you can actually take a picture of this slide because this tells you what to do if you find this stuff online. Carl, you might want to take a picture of this one. But these are things that you can do if your picture gets out there. If somebody else's picture. What if it's your brother or sister and you happen to like your brother or sister? Yeah, you might want to help them, right? Okay, so that is it. And it's right almost 6:30. Okay, thank you for your time. Does anybody have any questions for me?